Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marcagiani here. Today we're going to do a quick video on how to do a functional glucose tolerance test, how to figure out if you have a damaged metabolism and are insulin resistant. So first off, hallmark is just run a fasting insulin. Are you below 10 or below 7 on a fasting insulin? Make sure you haven't eaten for at least 12 hours. Go to the lab. We'll put a link down below if you want to get a link to an actual Quest lab near you, and you can get your own blood draw and see where your fasting insulin's at. We want it below 10. Below 7 ideally, but below 10. That gives you a pretty good idea if you're insulin resistant. Again, when you're insulin resistant, your cells become numb to insulin. That means your glucose goes higher, and then your body gets more efficient at converting that glucose to fat. Right? Your body's got 3 places to put glucose. It either sends it to the mitochondria and burns it up, via your mitochondria and the muscles. Number 2, it stores it in the muscles or liver as glycogen, right? Liver's got 5 times less storage capacity as the muscle. And then after that, it converts it to fat. It converts it to palmitic acid and it goes to fat. And so the more insulin resistant you are, the more preferentially you're going to be converting things to fat, right? When your blood sugar is high, this enzyme called hormone sensitive lipase stays low, and you're not going to be efficient at burning fat. You're actually much more glucose efficient because your body's like this. It's like, we got a little bit of fat hanging around. We got a lot of sugar. What should we do? Should we preferentially get rid of the fat or the sugar? It's like, oh, let's get rid of the sugar. And so then it's preferentially being a sugar burner all day versus starting to burn fat. Now, fat has some benefits because it's an even burner. It's like logs on the fire. So it doesn't go up and down. It stays a lot more stable. So when you break these ketones, these free fatty acids, that glycerol backbone, and you go through de novo fatty acid, or you go through beta fatty acid oxidation, or you go through ketogenesis, or ketolipolysis, where you start breaking down the ketones, or you go through the carnitine shuttle, and we're shuttling fatty acids into the mitochondria, is a lot more stability. It's a lot more even keel. It's like logs on the fire versus paper or twigs or gasoline in the fire. And so sugar acts like paper, twigs, and gasoline. It's up and then it's out. Fats act like logs on the fire. Now, again, the more active you are, you make ketones at more efficient rates, meaning you could be at 200 grams of carbohydrate a day and you'll still be spitting out ketones because your body's very efficient metabolically. The more insulin resistant you are, that means the lower you have to keep the carbs. So you can get a Keto Mojo. I like it because you can get this My Keto. The website is called, I'll put it up here real quick. I did it in the last video. This is going to be an abbreviated version, is mymojohealth.com. You can create your own login, right? It's mymojohealth.com. When you get the device, there's an app you download, and then you connect it here on the app. Pretty simple. And then when you test your blood sugar, it pulls it up here and it allows you to graph it. So I just did one right now. You can see this is my last reading. There it is. So it graphs it out. And so what I recommend that you do is a fasting. So that's going to be at least 4 hours after eating. You can do a random breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, breakfast, let's say fasting, I haven't eaten yet. My breakfast is on the plate. I'm going to take a blood sugar reading. Got it. Okay. And then 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours later. 2 hours is the most important. 3 is optional. So if we're 120 or below in hour 1, that's great. Ideally below 140, but 120 or below is ideal. Hour 2, definitely below 120, ideally below 100 in hour 2. If you're good in hour 2, no third reading. If you're below 100, you're good. If you're still above 100, hour 3, we want to be below 100 in hour 3. Then we go into hour 4, totally having cleared out our blood sugar. This is important. Why? If our blood sugar is cleared out, guess what? We're going to be a lot more fat adapted. We're burning more fat, and our energy is a lot more stable. The more our blood sugar goes up and down and has these 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 point swings, the more our mood and energy and focus will be up and down. Also, food has inflammation components to it. Gluten, dairy, food allergens, so foods that are very inflammatory or inflammaging, if you will, right, can cause surges of cortisol. Cortisol can mobilize blood glucose because cortisol is a glucocorticosteroid. Gluco meaning blood sugar and energy mobilizer, corticosteroid, anti-inflammatory. So the more inflammatory the food is, the more it can throw off your blood sugar. So if you're eating gluten, even if the carbs are lower, it could still throw off your blood sugar due to the inflammation component. So get a Keto Mojo, fasting, below 100, 1 hour, 120 or below, all right? Ideally 140, but 120 for extra credit. Hour 2, we want it below 100, ideally. Hour 3, optional, definitely below 100. Do it on here, fasting 1, 2, 3. Sync it up on your phone. Go to the website that's on here, the mymojohealth.com, and then you can have the graph just like this, and then you can go back, you can pick your day, what day it is, and then you can do your fasting, your 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, and watch it. I did one in the last video. I think it was this date. I had one date where I did 3 in a row, and I put it in the last video so you guys can see it. And it gives you the ability to kind of look at it and see it. Here you go. So this is my fast. This is my before meal, and then 1 hour, 2 hour right there. You can see that. You can see that nice drop there right after a meal. And I added a little bit of exercise in there to get that glucose down a little bit faster. Just a simple walk. So this is an abbreviated version. We did another video. We'll put a link to either here or there or in the notes here pinned, where you can see a more lengthy video. This just kind of gives you the general outline on how to perform a functional glucose tolerance test and to see how healthy your metabolism is. We'll put a link down below for the Mojo device as well as a fasting insulin blood test if you want to dive a little deeper. All right, guys, hope this helps and you enjoy it. If you want to dive in deeper on the functional medicine side, links down below if you want to reach out and schedule. Take care. Bye.